Hello, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another prediction video, we can call this. Today I'm going to be sharing with y'all my 2021 NFL mock draft. And this is post free agency, so this is after free agency, after all the couple things that have happened since March 17th, with all the big signings and official trades and deals that have happened all across the league. So, starting off with the number one overall pick. A couple things to go over. Obviously, there's, over the past couple of years, I should say, we've all had predictions of, what team is going to have the number one overall pick, next season. Like last season, we all thought the Dolphins were going to easily have the number one overall pick. We all thought the Dolphins were going to be the worst team in the NFL. They ended up winning like 5 games, including one against the 12-4 Patriots and Tom Brady. They ended up getting Tua. They didn't get Joe Burrow. That ended up happening with the Bengals. So they actually moved back quite a bit to the fifth spot. And this year, everyone thought the Jets were going to get the number one seed. They ruined that for themselves at the end of the season. Ended up winning like two of a couple of their last games. And those two games actually ended up happening against playoff teams, including the Los Angeles Rams, who went 10-6 and had a good playoff run, and then made it to the divisional round, and the 11-5 Browns, which was justifiable by the fact they didn't have any healthy wide receivers due to COVID protocols, but they also made it deep in the divisional round in a close game against the Chiefs, who did not have Patrick Mahomes. So the Jets could win games. Obviously, Adam Gase was their coach. They didn't really have a defense. They were the Jets. So it's kind of understandable. But at the end of the day, the Jaguars won only one game. And even if the Jets had lost one of those games, the Jaguars still would have had the somewhat tiebreaker uh, because it was like home advantage or something like that. I know it's a weird way to explain it, but basically, the Jaguars overall won and secured the number one pick. So, the Jaguars they've been an interesting team to watch over the past couple of years. Everyone remembers back in 2017, Saxonville, you know, Jalen Ramsey, Josh Allen, Calais Campbell, uh, a bunch of other players on that defense that made them that elite team that went 12-4. They had the rookie Leonard Fournette, who was the number fourth overall pick in the 2017 draft out of LSU. They had Blake Bortles, who had a pretty good season. Obviously they went 12-4. He had a great season. They had a great playoff run. Ended up going to the AFC Championship game. Put up a great fight against the Patriots. Uh, they ended up losing those 24-20. But they were a great team that year. But the thing about the Jaguars is they've lost a lot of those pieces of that team. Leonard Fournette, who is now actually a free agent, but went to the Buccaneers, won a Super Bowl with them. Jalen Ramsey, who is now a part of the Rams defense. Calais Campbell, who pretty sure is on the Ravens. I could be wrong about that. I haven't kept up with him. But yeah, point is they've lost a lot of pieces, but they did have a pretty successful offseason. They had a lot of money to spend, and I think they spent it pretty well going and signing, Shaquem Griffin from Seattle to help out with that secondary. They went ahead and got Carlos Hyde out of Houston. Signed Marvin Jones off the line. So they have a pretty good receiving core, Marvin Jones, TJ Shark, uh, that outstanding rookie. I wouldn't say he was outstanding, but he had a pretty good, solid rookie season. Laviska Shenault, um, D.D. Westbrook. So they have a pretty good offense that they can help build around a rookie, including, oh yeah, they had James Robinson too. He had a great rookie year, the running back. Yeah, he was pretty good. So they have a good offense, that can help build around a rookie quarterback. They just have to add on to those, things like an O line, get a tight end. I think they have some deal with Tyler Eifert. I think he might be a free agent now. I don't know if they're going to resign him. They have the money to, but I don't know if it's going to happen. And they have two first round picks. So obviously they have the number one overall pick, and I think they have the 26th overall pick, which they got from. Actually, I don't think they have the 26th overall pick. Actually, it might be. I don't know. They got it from the Rams, so it might be the 26th overall pick. I'm not sure. But yeah, this team is a team that is in a good position to rebuild around. So obviously that starts with the obvious selection. You take the best quarterback available, and that quarterback is obviously Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson. Trevor Lawrence had a great year, Clemson. I mean, he's one of the best prospects in my opinion, quarterback wise that we've seen in a long time. Um, I think if the Jaguars play their cards right, they could be a playoff team within the next 2-3 years. Depending on how they have a lot of picks this draft. Depending on how they use them, I think they can be like the Dolphins last year. I think they can get their quarterback and then can rebuild around them. Obviously Urban Meyer's a new coach there. I'd love to see what he can do. Had a very successful career so far with Ohio State, leading them to the national championship game. And Trevor Lawrence, he's had a great college career too. Won the national championship his freshman year. Uh, Sophomore year went to the national championship, lost to LSU, but that's justified. LSU was incredible that year. Um, and then last year they lost to Ohio State in the first round of the playoffs. But Trevor Lawrence was still, you know, amazing. He's a great prospect, and I think he would fit very well with this Jacksonville team. And I really think if the Jaguars play their cards right with him, that they could be a playoff team very very soon. Him and Urban Meyer are an amazing. I think would be an amazing duo, and I'd love to see that. So yeah, obviously I think the Jaguars are going to pick Trevor Lawrence here. I don't think they're going to trade out. I think they're going to stick with their guy here, and then I think they're going to find their franchise QB. So hopefully that goes good for them. And let's move on to the second spot. Second spot, we got the New York Jets. Yeah, so they only moved back one spot. So they missed out on Trevor Lawrence, but this QB class is very good. We've seen that over the past couple of months. Zach Wilson, who had his pro day on, I think it was Friday. Fields, who he's lost a little bit of his draft stock. I don't know why. I guess it's because everyone else is going over him, and they're starting to see guys like him. But I think Fields will still be a top 3 pick. I do think though that the Jets are gonna go with Zach Wilson out of BYU. Reason is that is because he just had a great pro day. I mean, if y'all saw that throw off, unbalanced, rolling out to the left, that's just a crazy throw. Like, what's his name? Robert Saleh, the new head coach of the Jets, had, a great career as a defensive coordinator over with the 49ers, helped them get to the Super Bowl. He's the new head coach there. He was literally sitting right behind Zach Wilson. He was smiling the whole time. So that kind of just tells you the Jets are going to get their guy here, and that's going to be Zach Wilson. You can't blame him. I think Zach Wilson's a great prospect. I think he can, do great things with the Jets. I just think that the Jets can't rely on this guy to do everything. They're gonna have to help him out. They're gonna have to add on to that O line. They did have a good offseason. They got wide receivers. They got Keelan Cole. They got Corey Davis. Obviously, they have Jamison Crowder, who's a reliable guy in my opinion. They just signed Tevin Coleman, the running back, who's pretty good with the 49ers. So yeah, obviously they just have to add on to that team. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I don't think it's going to happen this year. But I do think if they play their cards right, just like the Jaguars, I think it will, go good for them. So, yeah. Number 3 overall, the 49ers. Obviously, if you all have heard, the 49ers went ahead and traded their number 3 overall pick to, uh, okay, no, I shouldn't say that. I say the Dolphins prior had the number 3 overall pick. They went ahead and traded it to the 49ers in exchange for the number 12th overall pick. And Miami obtained that number 3 overall pick through Houston for trading Laramie Tunsil, which, by the way, the Dolphins have been geniuses the past 2 years because they absolutely finessed the entire league. The Texans, who are on the verge of losing Deshaun Watson, uh, but some allegations going on. Obviously, they're false, but they still have to prove that through court. Stuff to go through every bit. The NFL's still investigating it. Not going to go into that right now. We're still going to stick with the mock draft. But that's how the Dolphins got the pick. They went ahead and traded it to the 49ers. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Anyway, they went ahead and did that. So the Dolphins obtained the number 12th overall pick and a couple future first rounders. And they went ahead and gave that to the 49ers. Obviously, if you're the 49ers and you're sitting at 12, I don't think you trade up all the way to 3 to take a tackle or, a wide receiver, I think you're going quarterback here. And I think they're a quarterback away from being an elite team, just like they were a few years ago. So I think they're going to go with the next best quarterback, and that is Justin Fields out of Ohio State. Justin Fields had a great season. Some people kind of thought, it was just not him. People thought it was, maybe Urban Meyer. I don't understand what the really big deal is with Justin Fields. I still think he's an amazing quarterback prospect. Obviously, everyone thought into this, coming into the season that he would be the second quarterback to go off the board, and he would be the Jets quarterback. But, obviously after further evaluation and, scouting, he's going to go number 3 to the 49ers. And I think that's a good fit. I think that the 49ers, it's a win-win situation for the first 3 teams. But, I think the 49ers get their guy, and I think it's a pretty good move for them. So hopefully that helps out with them. I think he'd work great with, Deebo Samuel and, what's his name? Brandon Ayuk. But yeah, I mean, obviously the 49ers, who weren't healthy last year, they still won some games. So if they can stay healthy, they can help out a young Justin Fields. They could be a playoff team, maybe even this year. But yeah, so I think that's a great pick for the 49ers. Moving on to number 4. Number 4 was actually Atlanta. Currently is Atlanta. I predict, though, that the Broncos will go ahead and trade up with Atlanta. Atlanta, who will attain the number 9th overall pick in exchange for the 4th overall pick and, a few other compensatory stuff from, the Broncos in order for that pick. But I think the Broncos are going to go QB here too. I think they go ahead and take Trey Lance out of North Dakota State. He had a great pro day. I mean, I think he really raised his draft stock a lot, and that's why I have him going here at number 4. Originally, I had the Panthers trading up for this because everyone knows the Panthers are probably going to go QB here. But, the logical thing tells me the Falcons aren't going to trade with a team out of their division. So I just went ahead and went with the next best thing, that being the Broncos, who are one spot behind the Panthers. So they go ahead and trade up, get Trey Lance. Drew Lock, probably not looking too good for him. I still think Drew Lock is a good QB. All right, he had to deal with an injury early in the season. He had a lot of his receivers get hurt. His decision making wasn't the best late in the season, but I still think he's a QB you can build around, and he's a good pick. But we're not going to go into that. Trey Lance, I think he'll be a great replacement, though. I think the Broncos can do a lot with him. Obviously, adding Kyle Fuller to their secondary. Re-signing Justin Simmons. Apparently, they're going to keep Von Miller. Yeah, they let go of Philip Lindsay, but I think the Broncos are in a position to win here. I think Trey Lance is a great pick for them, and I think he can go a long way with them. So great pick at number 4 for the Broncos. That's what I got. Number 5, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously had the number 1 overall pick last draft. Went ahead and took Joe Burrow. He got hurt midseason, but he had a great start to his rookie season. He was actually on pace to break all the records over Justin Herbert. I think he would have won Offensive Rookie of the Year if he had stayed healthy. Unfortunately, his O-line, we all know, was garbage. Did not happen. But here I have them getting help on the O-line. I would have loved to see Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase and a Joe Burrow reunion, I wanted that, especially after they lost A.J. Green, who didn't really do much for him, but I think that would have been great. Instead, I have them taking Penny Sewell, the best, O-lineman out there currently out of Oregon. I think Joe Burrow gets another piece that helps protect him, and the Bengals are one step closer to helping Joe Burrow have a successful career. And yeah, but yeah, Penny Sewell goes to the O-line. They got a couple pieces off the offseason for that O-line. Got a couple guys on defense, Trey Henderson, Eli Apple. Lost a couple pieces, but I still think they're a great team right now. I think they can win now, and yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. So good pick for the Bengals. Number 6 overall, we have the Dolphins. The Dolphins went ahead and traded that number 12 overall. This is an actual trade that happened in real life. The Dolphins went ahead and traded that number 12 overall with the Eagles for one of those first-round future picks that the 49ers gave them. So the Dolphins went ahead and go number 6, and I think they actually get the guy that they were going to get at number 3, so it's kind of a finesse for the Dolphins. They go ahead and get Ja'Marr Chase, the best wide receiver in the class, out of LSU, had a great career. 2 years ago. Opted out this past season, but stayed healthy. Ran some drills and started training for the draft. But him and Joe Burrow, they were great. He had a great career with LSU, and I think the Dolphins can go ahead and get him. They signed a Will Fuller in the offseason, so I think they're really, doing their best to help out Tua, and I think they're going to be a playoff team next year. I think they're going to, be a team to look out for, and it's going to be fun to see them and the Bills, go back and forth. I think the Bills are obviously going to be the better team, but the Dolphins, I think they're just, they're going to get what they should have had last year. They're going to be that playoff team. They went 10-6 last year. Didn't make the playoffs. It was a stacked AFC division, but now I think they're going to go ahead. They're going to make it up there, and it's going to be a great season for them. I think Tua's going to prove that I don't understand what the problem with Tua is in the media, but this is going to help keep Tua's name out of the media's mouth. So I'm excited to see that duo. Tua, Devontae Parker, Jamar Chase, Will Fuller. That's going to be fun to watch. So good pick for the Dolphins. Excited to see what they do with it. Number 7, we have the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions had a very, very sad offseason, losing a lot of pieces of their team, and they're basically in probably another rebuilding phase, just like they've always been. I mean, that's really the story of their franchise. They lost their franchise quarterback, Matthew Stafford. They lost, Kenny Golladay. He's on the Giants now. Marvin Jones, they lost him. It was very, very, sad offseason for the Lions. But, I mean, I guess Lions fans should be used to that because they're the Lions. But here you are, Lions fans. Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, second best wide receiver in the class. Go ahead and rebuild that. Receiver core, you have Jared Goff at QB. I wouldn't focus too much on the QB spot right now. I think you should give Goff a chance. I don't think he's a reliable starter, but I still think you should give him a chance. And in order to give him that chance, you need to help him with another receiver, Jalen Waddle. So there you go. Hopefully, you can, I don't know, do what you've been doing or make something different. Number 8 overall, we got the Carolina Panthers. They stay here. I had them attempting to trade up with the Falcons because it didn't seem logical though. To have the Falcons trade with their divisional rival. The Panthers, they started 3-0. And I guess that's just a story. I mean, the year before they started great too. And then this year, Christian McCaffrey gets hurt. Teddy Bridgewater wasn't as good as he was. And it was kind of just a downfall for them. Yeah, they never really were that team. I mean, obviously you could tell at the beginning of the season that they weren't going to be, even though they were 3-0, but, it just didn't work out for them. So that's the number 8 overall pick. I still think they go QB here, get Mac Jones out of Alabama. He won the national championship with Alabama, him and Nick Saban. I think he's an underrated quarterback prospect, but I do think he goes number 8 overall. So 5 QBs in the top 10. Pretty crazy. But yeah, I think that the Panthers, think that they can help this guy win. I mean, to win now kind of team, Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. You lost Curtis Samuel in the offseason. But this is a team that can win games if they have a quarterback. And, it obviously all starts around the quarterback. Another team that's going to have to build around him, but can win games if they play their cards right. So that's where I have the Panthers taking at number 8. Number 9, the Falcons traded back with the Broncos. So here they are, number 9. At number 4, I mean, you can't really think of a position that you could have gotten then, but you could have gotten later. So that's why I had the Falcons trading out of them. I think Matt Ryan is not the problem. I think he's still a good QB. You obviously have Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, Christian Blake. You have all those guys. You just need a defense because they have a really bad defense. So I think they add on to their secondary. Patrick Surtain, they obviously lost Demonte KZ, Keanu Neal in the offseason. But I think they get Patrick Surtain here instead of Caleb Farley. Patrick Surtain had a great, pro day. And I think he's really a corner that, paired up with A.J. Terrell, I think they can really help him develop that secondary. And, add on to that defense where they can win games. So I think that the Falcons go Patrick Surtain here, and it's a good pick, in my opinion. Dallas Cowboys number 10. That they're gonna get Dak back. They re-sign him to that huge killer deal. Uh, you know, they have a stacked offense. I mean, you don't really know what the problem is with that team. Obviously, a lot of people thought it was Jason Garrett, and Mike McCarthy comes, Dak gets hurt, Dalton, blah 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 blah. Everyone knows how that story went. They still didn't make the playoffs, even in that horrible division. But I think you got to add on to their defense because, like every story, their defense is trash. Defense wins championships. Their secondary was garbage. Caleb Farley, cornerback, only logical answer. Virginia Tech. So I think he comes, he helps them out, and build on that secondary and help Dak, get a ring, get closer to the playoffs, and it's going to be pretty easy in that division. Uh, Number 11 overall, the New York Giants. So New York Giants, they had a great offseason. I mean, they signed Adoree Jackson as a cornerback. So now you got Adoree Jackson and Logan Ryan, the two former Titans, as your two corners. They signed Kenny Golladay to that killer deal. So now you got Kenny Golladay and Darius Slayton and a bunch of other guys for, Daniel Jones to the football team. You're going to get Saquon Barkley back healthy after that ACL injury. So you have a good offense. You have a good secondary. So I think you go ahead and you take an lineman to go ahead and protect Daniel Jones because he needs it. And he needs time to throw the football to those guys. So I think they go ahead and get Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern to protect Daniel Jones. It's a great pick, and I think it'll be fun watching the Cowboys, Giants go back and forth. Whoever that team is, I don't think. Hopefully, they're not the same trash division they were, last year and the years before. But hopefully, they can go. So 3 straight division picks from the NFC East. Philadelphia Eagles are next. Pick number 12, they obtained obviously from Miami through San Francisco. So here they are chilling at number 12. I think they get a wide receiver, Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner. So I think that works out for them. He's still sitting there, so obviously they're going to go ahead and fix their receiver problem to help out with Jalen Hurts. Devontae Smith. A lot of people said he was too small, but a lot of people said that about Justin Jefferson last year too, and he ended up being the best receiver out of that class. So Devontae Smith goes, he helps Jalen Hurts, him, Jalen Reagor, blah 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 blah. I still think there's a lot of problems with that team, but this is a great step towards fixing it. Number 13, the LA Chargers. LA Chargers had another, playoffless year, but Justin Herbert had an amazing rookie year. Was the best quarterback out of that class last year. Him, Keenan Allen. This is a team that has potential. Okay, Anthony Lynn, he's gone. They have a new head coach. I don't know what he's going to do yet, but I still think this is a team that has very much good potential. And I think in order to do that, you go ahead and you replace Hunter Henry, who you lost in free agency, to the Patriots. So you sign Kyle Pitts, the best tight end in the draft from Florida. It's a great way to help out Justin Herbert. And this is a team that I think is going to be very competitive with the Chiefs and the rest of that division next year, and I can't wait to see them. Number 14, the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings, they keep repeating that pattern. Playoffs, no playoffs, no playoffs. Ever since 2017. I think they had a very fair trade last year, even after losing Stephon Diggs. They just replaced him with Justin Jefferson. I think that was a great move for them. And, yeah, I mean, the Vikings, Micah Parsons is the best linebacker on the board, so I think they take him. They've added on to that defense, and hopefully if they can stay healthy, this Viking team is going to be something to watch out for, all right? Kirk Cousins, I'm still not sold on Kirk Cousins. I still think he could be better. He's not worth all that money they're paying him. That's obvious. But, yeah, I think the Vikings will be, I think if they play their cards right, just like every other team, they'll be a good team next year. They could be a playoff team. And they could be a team that competes with the Packers. Number 15, the New England Patriots. Cam Newton started pretty good, didn't finish very well. They still went 7-9 though, despite losing Brady. Had probably the best offseason out of any team. Absolutely went on a spending spree. Johnny Smith, Hunter Henry, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, Matthew Judon, and so on. Absolutely insane for them. They obviously lost Joe Thuney. I still think they've yet to re-sign J.C. Jackson. Um, who knows though? They're still a team. I think Cam Newton is a great guy for them, and I think they got to get protection for him, especially with how mobile he is. Elijah Vera Tucker, best lineman on the board currently. USC At a USC, I think they get him, and they help building onto that roster. Bill Belichick one step closer, and I think Bill Belichick is trying to prove that he is what made Brady. Obviously, Brady's the GOAT. I'm no longer going to deny that. But Bill Belichick wants to prove that he had something to do with it, too. Arizona Cardinals, pick number 16. The Cardinals had a great offseason, too. Signed J.J. Watt, future Hall of Famer. Traded for, I forgot his name, out of the Raiders, that great center, to protect Kyler Murray. Signed A.J. Green for that receiving core to replace Larry Fitzgerald, who they're probably not going to re-sign. They did lose Patrick Peterson, so I think they go ahead and go J.C. Horn, the best corner on the board at the time, to replace him. And they also signed Malcolm Butler, too. So you'll have J.C. Horn and Malcolm Butler. I think Malcolm Butler will be a great veteran to help mentor J.C. Horn. So yeah, I think they go ahead and rebuild that secondary, and hopefully with the stag team that they are, and then the most competitive division that they are in. Yeah, I think the NFC West is going to be the most competitive division next year. I still think they're going to be a great team. They just, got to be better. Murray's got to be better. Kingsbury, it starts with everyone, basically. But I can't wait to see what they do next year. Hopefully they can make the playoffs. Pick number 17, the Las Vegas Raiders. Christian Darrisaw, O-lineman. I think they go ahead and get an O-lineman. They lost a lot of their O-line. I don't know why. It was a great O-line, helped for Ted Carr, but they have to go ahead and replace it now. So they get Christian Darrisaw, the O-lineman out of Virginia Tech, to go ahead and protect him. Obviously, there's a lot of pieces on that defense they need to fix too, but you got to start with helping out Carr, who apparently they're pretty sold on keeping. Number 18, the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins have another first round with 2 picks, considering they had that first, earlier one from the Texans. The Dolphins, number 19, I think they go ahead and assess their running situation, get Najee Harris out of Alabama. Best running back in the class, in my opinion. So I think they get him to help, in the backfield, help Tua kind of build onto that offense after having that good defense last year. So good pick for the Dolphins. Number 19 overall, we got the Washington football team. Number 19, the football team was in that trash division. They went 7-9. They still put a fight up against the Buccaneers. I'll give them that. I think Taylor Heineke is his name. I think he'll be the quarterback for the football team next year. Alex Smith's still free agent. Dwayne Haskins is on the Steelers now. Kyle Allen still injured, but he'll probably be good this season. But I still think Heineke, who put up a good game against the Buccaneers, will be their guy. They have a great defense, so I think they go ahead and get a guy after Ryan Kerrigan, who's a free agent. They go ahead and get a guy like Gregory Rousseau to be on the opposite side of Chase Young. The best edge in the draft, get him out of Miami to help that out. So pick number 20, get the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears had a really bad offseason too. I mean, Trubisky, he was a problem. So he's on the Bills now. He's the backup. They went ahead and signed Dalton. Everyone thought they were going to get Russ. They did all they can, Bears fans. You can't be mad at them, okay? They did everything they can. They offered so much for him, and the Seahawks still told him no. The Bears have the 20th pick. So they go ahead and I think they get Kadarius Toney out of Florida to help Dalton. So him, Robinson, Mooney, it's a good receiving core. Uh, so obviously, I think it's gonna be. I wouldn't say the Bears are a rebuilding team. I mean they lost Kyle Fuller still, but I still think they're a team that has a lot of gaps if they want to be in the playoffs again. I don't even think they deserve to be in the playoffs. I mean, they were 8-8. They didn't even score a touchdown against the Saints. So, actually, they did score a touchdown. It was like the last play, but it really didn't mean anything. Um, Number 21, Indianapolis Colts. Colts had a great year last year. Phillip Rivers, he's retired. They got Carson Wentz. There is, speculation that they're trying to trade for Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz, who is still on the board, but is most likely still going to be traded for tight end. But, they re-signed a lot of their defensive pieces. They re-signed T.Y. Hilton. They got Michael Pittman to help out. They got that running back group to help out Wentz. But I think they go, O-line to help protect him too. Yeah, I still think the Colts are a good team, and I think they just go ahead and add on a little bit more Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State to protect Carson Wentz. Number 22, we got the Tennessee Titans. The Titans, obviously had a bad defense. Desmond King, though, is now on the Texans. My bad. Dory Jackson now on the Giants. Jadeveon Clowney is still a free agent. They lost Corey Davis. I don't want to say the Titans are no longer a good team because I know that's wrong. I think they still are a good team. I think they'll still win games next year and they might be in the playoffs, but they're definitely not going to be the team that they've been for the past 2 years. So I think they go ahead and build on that secondary. They get Trevon Mayrig, Matt. I'm not even going to try. The safety had a TCU to help build on that secondary. Good pick for them. Yeah. New York Jets, they got the 23rd pick. They got it from Seattle on that Jamal Adams trade. Obviously got Zach Wilson. They'll go ahead and add on to their D-line with Kwity Paye. They're going to add on to their defense. And they're one step closer to being a good team. So, Pittsburgh Steelers, number 24. Steelers are interesting. They lost a couple of their defensive pieces in the offseason. You know, the video leaks of what's his name? Chase Claypool. I'm sorry, I can't think right now. Chase Claypool, the rookie. He had a great rookie season. There's that video of him getting in a bar fight. I'm pretty sure the NFL's investigating that right now. So we don't know what the punishment's going to be for that. Maybe most likely probably going to be a fine or something like that. Maybe not a suspension. But the Steelers did lose a couple of their pieces. They lost James Conner, the running back. But I think they should go ahead and get another linebacker to help their defense. Azeez Ojulari, linebacker out of Georgia, one of the best linebackers on that class. So they go ahead and add on to that defense. Number 25, the Jaguars obtained this pick from the Rams in that Jalen Ramsey trade like last year, and yeah, they'll add on to their defense too. Jalen Phillips, a defensive lineman out of Miami. We go ahead and get him to help out, with that rebuilding team, rebuilding that defense. And I think that's a good step for them. So the Jaguars are playing their cards right, and I think they'll continue to do it throughout the draft. Cleveland Browns, number 26. The Browns had a great second half of the year. Baker Mayfield definitely started playing like that quarterback that the Browns drafted him to be. Obviously, they have a lot of work to do still. I think they've done a great job in the offseason. They got John Johnson for that secondary, and there have been talks between them and Jadeveon Clowney. They got Myles Garrett. They're a great team, all right? They're a good team, but they can get better. There's room for improvement. They go ahead and get Jason away. They still haven't signed Clowney, but if that doesn't happen, I think they'll get another edge to go opposite of Myles Garrett. So they'll get Jason away out of Penn State, and I think that's a good move for them. Add on to that defense, and you become a better team. Pick number 27, the Baltimore Ravens. This was kind of interesting. Sorry, take a sip of water. The Ravens went hunting for receivers. They came up with Sammy Watkins. They offered to Juju. I think they offered to Corey Davis. They offered to Kenny Galladay. They offered to a lot of people, but they ended up with Sammy Watkins, who's a good guy. I think he can help. But Willie Snead, he's now on the Raiders, and yeah, the Ravens need a bit of help at that position, but you know, they need help. So they got Rondale Miller, wide receiver, Purdue. There's been a lot of speculation about Moore's height. He still had an amazing pro day. He's fast. So I kind of look at him as, Hollywood Brown. So I think that's kind of the speed receiving core that they're going to have. So in order for that to happen, uh, Jackson's going to have to, be able to throw deep down the field and like that. So he's not going to have to be able to run as much. But I think that's good because if the receivers get down the field faster, that can take all, the defense with them, and that can open up more room for Jackson to run. That's just my opinion. I'm not a defensive coordinator. Number 28, New Orleans Saints. It's my team, if y'all know that. The Saints, uh, they lost some starting guys in the offseason. They lost some the receiving core. But they have good depth to the receiving core. They got, what's his name? Deontay Harris. I think Deontay Harris has the potential to be the next Tyreek Hill. They got Marquez Callaway, had a great rookie year. Traquan Smith, physical guy. So they had depth at that position. They obviously had to release Janoris Jenkins, who is now on the Titans. So there's the Marshawn Lattimore got arrested in Cleveland, for those of y'all who didn't know that. So we're still awaiting the results and punishment of that, those charges. We don't know if it's going to be a suspension or a fine. Hopefully it's just a fine. But you can never be too safe. So the Saints go ahead, take Asante Samuel Jr., corner out of Florida State University. His dad played for the Patriots. And he's a good guy. I think a great guy. I think, he's a little on the shorter end, physically wise, but I think he is a great match for Dennis Allen's defense, and I think that him, and assuming Lattimore is able to play next year, I think him and Lattimore, that'd be a scary duo. I think they can go ahead and replace that, and the Saints are making moves to still be that winning team. Number 29, the Packers. I still think they don't get help for Aaron Rodgers. They go ahead and go a linebacker here. He's just sitting there. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, he's a great linebacker at Notre Dame. He's just sitting there, so can the Packers go ahead and take him to help their defense that did not play very well against the Buccaneers or pretty much the rest of the playoffs. Actually, they played pretty good against the Rams, but that was the 10-6 Rams. So, yeah. Buffalo Bills. The Bills are stacked next year. Josh Allen is going to have a great receiving core. Emmanuel Sanders, Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley. I think that's going to be great for him. Can't wait to see what they do. Obviously, you got to add on. So you got to get help with that secondary. You get Tyson Campbell, corner out of Georgia, help with that secondary, and the Bills become a tad bit better with them and Tre'Davious White. Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, they're still a stacked team, but they pretty much lost a lot of their O-line pieces. So they get Jalen Mayfield out of Michigan to protect Patrick Mahomes, who was running for his life in the Super Bowl. 32, the Bucs re-signed pretty much everyone from last year except Antonio Brown, who is probably still going to get re-signed. So they're still that team. But they go ahead and add on to their amazing depth chart of linebackers and get Zaven Collins out of Tulsa. And yeah, the Buccaneers get better. Wow, yippee for the Buccaneers. Yay. Everyone say hip hip hooray. I hate the Buccaneers. I don't hate them. They're a respectable team. So yeah, they get better. I don't know how they had the money to re-sign all those guys, but kudos to them for doing it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. First mock draft. Let me know in the comments what you would change about this mock draft. Let me know what kind of video I should do next, what I should be about, whether it should be about the Saints, the rest of the NFL, my opinion on everything. I'd love feedback. I would love ideas. Thanks for watching. hope y'all enjoyed my first mock draft. And thanks for watching and listening to my opinions. Thanks so much, guys, and have a great day.